Alrighty, so this would be, I hope, the last batch of sticks and twigs from my property, although somewhat unlikely. But this would be, I guess, the bigger stuff. A lot of things have happened since my last video, so this would be catching up for a few days. So the very first thing to report is that everything on that side of the property has been cleared. Everything over here has been cleared. Everything, well, basically everywhere has been cleared. Those trees are still leaning. That will have to be dealt with at a different time. My neighbor is spending his time helping out with that neighbor over there, with their tree being down, so he's been running his chainsaw over there. So speaking of chainsaws, I have basically chopped up this tree over here. My hopes that the stump from this tree would have stood up all by itself. It's being lazy. Unfortunately, the center of gravity for it is just not quite where I want it. And so I've done everything that I could. Basically, it was going there. And so I cut it to some extent, which dropped the rest of the limbs. And then I was chopping them one by one. Here's where you see some of it. Hauling things off, chopping it some more. Then it kept standing up again because there's far less weight. So I had to go back here and chop it again a little bit. It would go down a little bit. So that's exactly how I was able to, in the safest way, bring the rest of this thing down. So when I cut it for the last time, this thing stood up some. So it already has traveled about 1.5 feet. It is being somewhat stubborn. I'm really hoping that it will just flip. My neighbor with the tractor told me that if it doesn't, he'll use his to kind of stand it up. So this stuff over here still has to be hauled off. Over there. So one thing that really helped me make such significant headway in the man, I'm so tired, can't even talk. In the whole cleanup procedure, if you notice, a lot of the grass is kind of squished over to one side, and that's only because I got the fancy trailer attachment finally. It took quite a bit of wrestling to put it all together, but that thing is a beast. Works like a charm, and honestly, I have no idea how I lived without it. You might wonder, why am I not using traditional rake? I do, over there, but once you have a sizable property, a leaf rake, it just takes way too long. So the way this works, and by the way, this is not perfect, but this will do. So this kind of flips like so, and then you kind of sort of drag it behind yourself, and it accumulates all the sticks and twigs and everything like that. And then eventually it forms somewhat of a line behind the wheels, between the wheels and this. And sooner or later, while still sitting here, at least ideally, you pull this lever, you lift this up, and allegedly it falls off. Now, in my experience, it falls off about 10% of the time. Unfortunately, it requires me to turn the tractor off, go over here and just mush it. If I had another person here, they'd be able to just take a leaf rake and just go whip to have it all fall. But nonetheless, that thing, I was basically able to keep my perpetual fire going. So I was able to clear up all of this. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. And then everything here, and towards the front of the property. So all of this has been cleared up. As you can see, there's a nice and tidy underneath of all of this. Still adhering to the rule, never walk empty-handed. So the next big phase would be to deal with the leaves, but that's a separate issue. I have a separate trailer for that. So all the branches and twigs and everything over there, everything here. To the best of my abilities. So other than leaves, there's really nothing in here. Unfortunately, as you see, the tarp has not come through yet. Amazon, I don't know what it is about Amazon in California. Every time they ship anything from California, it never makes it here. So, but if you notice, there's more ropes on this thing this time. I've added a few more. That will make me pull the tarp even when it comes here a lot easier. I did take time to kind of hose off my motorhome a little bit. I guess I need to blow my roof with a leaf blower. But as you see, from the hurricane, I would say, like, cleanup wise, I'm probably at about 98% done in terms of like the cleanup, if I had to guess. Leaves still have to be collected, so that will take an enormous undertaking considering how many leaves there are, but I have a trailer for that. And that's kind of, yeah. So this fire has been basically burning non-stop since the day after the hurricane. Well, or yeah, I guess the day after the hurricane. Constantly dropping things into it and burning and burning and burning and burning and burning. And I'm sure there's still lots to be burned. Unfortunately for me, up in the trees, there's a lot of widowmakers that I will have to address. And if you don't know what a widowmaker is, basically it's a branch that broke that refuses to fall on its own. And so up there in the trees, there's some big stuff over there that has to come down. So I'll have to engineer ways and methods to do it in the safest way possible. There's another one right there. Not this one. That one right there. But other than that, I'm quite pleased with how things are kind of coming along. I'll be able to spend a little bit less time perpetually doing yard work and a little bit more time actually planning for next year. So my next video, I'm hoping, assuming my tarp ever arrives, I'll be posting that.